is great. You know, I was a skeptic at first when he said he was going to make everything great again. But wow, I had no idea just how great it was going to be. I mean, every day it's like, how much greater can this get? It's just going to keep getting greater with this sociopathic huckster clown king and his buddies, the autistic billionaire techno-fascist. And somehow or another, he managed to find an actual Jewish Nazi for deputy chief of staff. Guy's really got an eye for talent. And his supporters, I mean, just this army of shills and stooges and grifters, collaborators, unfuckable hate nerds, white nationalists, crypto dorks, whack job Christian fascists. Yeah, you know, and then there's just about like 50 million people who decided, I just like the guy. And actually hate them more than the rest of them, to be honest with you.
The most shocking thing about this, and I cannot stress this enough, convicted sex trafficker, is the extent of his social network.
We mentioned some of the emails between Epstein and writer Michael Wolff.
Epstein emailed he received a gift from Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Contacts include liberal academic Noam Chomsky,
Ehud Barak, and Larry Summers, and Deepak Chopra,
Soon-Yi Previn, Woody Allen's wife,
Landon Thomas of the New York Times, the former Prince Andrew,
Ken Starr,
Peter Thiel.
Look at the names in these emails. You get Democrats, Republicans, Silicon Valley billionaires, spiritual thought leaders. You got an Israeli prime minister and the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. My God, the range. What it tells you is that a certain stratosphere, the petty differences of class and race and religion fade away. We're left and right, Jew, Arab, and Christian, ultra rich and, oh my God, is that a rocket rich? Find common ground and show us that we can live in peaceful coexistence. It would be almost beautiful. If not for the sex trafficking part. I'm not saying these people are all in the ring, but Epstein was a convicted sex offender at the time of these emails. And of course, mentioned in these emails more than anyone else, more than 1,600 times, is Donald Trump. Is that evidence of his guilt? No. But it shows that he's a part of that world. And certainly the circumstantial evidence points to his understanding of what was occurring.
Welcome to every video we make. We use one little thing and then we build the narrative out of it. Brie Larson says one fucking thing and we make a whole video out of it. That's what we do.
Words are flowing out like woke Mary Sue, objective truth. They don't mean much, but nothing ever does across the grift of
All right, you assholes.
You can pick up the softback trade paper.
The what now?
How do you do, fellow kids?
The fucking what? I'll tell you what, I'll tell you where you sign up to get Disney checks. That's by being Critical Drinker, who's fucking on Disney welfare, man. I mean, when you think about it, it doesn't. I mean, maybe if you guys are here to troll, can take a time to, you know, rub two brain cells together. If not for Disney, Critical Drinker would have no content. Go look at how many videos he makes that are just Disney based. Okay, without Disney, he would be nothing. Gary would be nothing. They're on Disney welfare. They're Disney welfare recipients. Okay. Here we go. We got this motherfucker right here. Hey, Bob.
Bad faith.
Bad faith.
Oh, bad faith.
We get our Disney checks. When are you going to give us our Disney checks, Bob?
They're in the mail.
Okay.
Hey, trust me. Trust me.
I
put them in the mail a couple years ago. Nobody.
He was joking, or he wasn't joking, and then I made such a good point, and he was like, "Oh, I better say I was joking because that was a good point." Just kidding. How's everybody doing? You weren't supposed to be here today, Bob. I had all kinds of plans that involved not you. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I have like no plans. I'm just going to talk about this interview that Leslie Headland did with IGN. Did you read that?
What?
Do you not know about it? Or?
No. I am well versed in it. To my understanding, she said that Critical Drinker killed her show.
She said, yeah, exactly that. The Critical Drinker specifically. She said, Will Jordan, you know that guy that got charged with punching a child one time, but he wasn't convicted of it. That guy, he's responsible.
Yes, that is definitely what she said. No need to double check that. Ooh,
right.
What
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, whenever I saw the article the other day, I guess it was the day it came out, I was surprised that nobody had covered it, that I hadn't seen any judges. I was like, this is the kind of thing that, normally they would have been like, look, she's saying that, well, she should have been complaining or whatever. And then, hey, we got Ryan here. What's up, Ryan?
Hello.
So yeah, I was saying that like it for a couple of days, it seemed like they weren't going to touch it because, from what I could tell, it would be pretty not difficult, not to say they couldn't do it, but they would have to lie. And look, these guys are just honest people. They wouldn't lie to their audience, right?
This is true.
But she made it a little bit difficult for them because what she did was she used this thing called nuance in who she pointed to as being partially responsible for the show not getting a second season. And I think the sentence that she used was like, I mean, it was quite a bit of a talk about it. And
well, listen, only bad faith people use nuance, and they could see through that.
So she talks about streaming distribution and how that plays a role. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty obvious that anybody can agree that they probably put too much money into this show.
Yeah.
And that they hadn't figured out that you don't need to put a feature film's worth of money into every single show that you do, maybe. But yeah, she says, I'm a Star Wars fan, which means I've always been, since the launch of YouTube, part of the Star Wars recap, criticism, lionization fandom community. These guys I've known for years and years. So when I got the information from others about what the weather report was, there was real concern from friends of mine or coworkers of mine that saddened me. I also was like, I know who these guys are. You don't have to tell me who's talking about it or how bad it is online. I know exactly who they are. I supported them on Patreon. I'm confident that she doesn't mean people like Critical Drinker when she says that. But that's the thing. She's painting a pretty broad brush with that. And then she goes on to kind of get more specific. She's like, there are some of them that I respect. There are some of them that I think are absolutely snake oil salesmen, just opportunists. Then, of course, there are the fascists and racists. Now, I think she's kind of wrong there because from what I can tell, most of the fascists and racists are also just snake oil salesmen. So there's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, they're kind of a crossover there.
But she's very clearly saying there that there are people she respects that did not like the show. They criticized the show. Right? And what is it? That kind of kills their narrative from last year with that. It was all
what I'm getting from
sorry.
What I'm getting from that is when she says she respects some of them, is that she's attacking the fans.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. I mean, how do you take anything else but that from that, right? Like,
yes, it's obviously.
She literally said, I paid those bills. I mean, and in reality, these guys should thank her. They should thank Brie Larson, but they never will, of course. But I guess they're not such brazen grifters that they would actually just rant about this for months on end and then sign off and send a handwritten letter to Brie Larson thanking her for. They're not that grifty, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you for just being moderately center left.
Right. No, I mean, it's not that they're not that grifty. What it is that they can't possibly, they will never allow themselves to think about anyone else being responsible for their quote unquote success. Whatever they've built for themselves, which is, as we've been paying attention to for quite a while now, deteriorating slowly. It is all them. They didn't have any help, didn't have anything to do with Brie Larson and her name. And
the amount of money she managed to make for them, I think she deserves a 15% agent fees because she did a lot more work for getting them work than they deserve.
Brie Larson is listed on their W-2 as occupation.
Oh God,
just Brie Larson, and then the acolyte. Yeah,
and the IRS looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's one of those."
I'm technically a subcontractor of Lucasfilm, if you really think about it. Which is what I've been trying to say, that they're Disney welfare recipients, and I'm going to keep calling them that until people start thinking of it that way. Because, I mean, when you think about it, that's what it is. It's they're not doing anything of value for money. They're just coasting along, being the welfare queens that they almost certainly have ranted about being a thing that was a problem.
This is true.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting that she seemed to know enough to, and as she said, she's been paying attention to YouTube since the beginning of YouTube,
Yeah.
and I believe it.
Well, I mean, when she says, I was on their Patreons, do I think she was on the Patreon of Critical Drinker Nerdrotic? I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Was she on Red Letter Media Patreon?
Maybe.
I mean,
I think what's someone like Star Wars Theory, she probably was.
Maybe. I mean,
because he was before he made his shift, he was producing Star Wars content, the kind that normal Star Wars fans were subscribing to.
I mean, he did just do theory videos for the longest time, and theory videos were entertaining.
Yeah. Well, so like I said, they hadn't been touching it. Nobody touched it, and then it seems like I think Ryan clued me to the fact that Jester Bell addressed it.
Who is never one to avoid the lowest of hanging fruit.
Right. Yeah.
I was about ready to say, I know Critical Drinker's got a video.
Right. That was today that I noticed that. I don't know when it went up, but I saw it today. It's no, because I never watched them. Because I'll be honest. Part of the reason I've never been susceptible to this content, other than the fact that I just have a brain, is I've never been into, like, I grew up with this stuff like as a solo hobby kind of thing. I kind of got used to it that way. So like my fandom has most of my earlier life anyway was just like by myself, enjoying shit that I liked. I didn't really have anything to do with socializing. In fact, I would try to get friends into comics or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh no, I don't want to read comic books," and I'd be like, "One of these days, you're gonna see this stuff is cool."
For me, it was a Han Solo hobby. Whee!
Got him.
Oh,
but yeah, so it's like I didn't really get into the content. It's one of the reasons it's been, I had to kind of put myself in modern day, current fucking days fans perspective in order to empathize with how they could end up following this kind of crap in the first place. Because to me, it's just like, why do you care what some idiots are saying about Star Wars on the internet? Just watch the movie and play with action figures, whatever the fuck. Play the video games. Play Star Wars Trivial Pursuit like me and my brothers did.
No, Ryan Cannell's got a video out on it. I'm sure that one is high effort. Is
screech, screech, screech. If only we had a drop for that. Oh wait, we did.
Enjoy the negative grift, guys. I'm out.
Without having watched any of these videos, I'm going to imagine that what happens is they misquote or paraphrase what you say, make some weird sort of claim that she's blaming the fans, when from the quotes you've read, it's quite clear what she's saying. She's saying that online, some people she respects, some people she doesn't. And
so who should we go with? Should we go with a Drinker or?
I mean, just before you start, if you think about it, the fact that they're covering it at all means that they identify with the groups that she's
absolutely
singling out.
It's the same thing as they called people that criticize it racists or whatever. I made that video months ago after the act. It was really probably I should have made it while the Acolyte was still airing or had just finished, but I made it later because I suck with the algorithm. But I made a video. It was like I didn't like the Acolyte, so I guess I'm racist, right? You know what I mean? So it was proving the point that like I didn't care for the show. There was stuff I liked about it, stuff that I definitely wished was more front and center, stuff that could have been done better, things like that. It wasn't a complete shit show or whatever, but like I can see that it wasn't worth the money they dumped it to, in my opinion. But
I think that's fair. I mean,
because otherwise the alternative is that the alternative to the truth is that they genuinely, these people don't believe that there are anybody on YouTube who are grifters, racists, or fascists. Because if those groups don't exist at all, then what she's saying is ridiculous.
True.
So if that's the reality that they live in, it's weird.
Well, so what I predicted when I said it the other day, I was like, if any of them do end up covering this, they're going to have to lie. They're going to have to not share her full quotes for sure, because that just kind of shoots their general narrative about blah blah blah, criticism, racist, all that right down. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Just real quick, I'm looking at Critical Drinker's page just to get an idea for. I mean, it's obvious that he was going to cover this in hindsight because his channel's not been doing so great.
Although I will say his channel's been doing better than the other ones, but yes.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's doing.
I have noticed that Star Wars Theory covered it as well, though I bet you Critical Drinkers is more entertaining for what it's worth.
I mean, where do you go from here? I was kind of thinking about. I might still do this if I remember later because I saw that Gary has a video that's got the thumbnail or title, one of the two, that says Hollywood is cooked or whatever, and I'm just like, I wonder how far back I can find him putting out videos that say basically that same thing.
Oh God, like
from the start.
Well, no, it wasn't quite from the start. It was pretty much if you watch the timeline, he pretty much he went all full grifter pretty much during the pandemic. So early 2020, he's been releasing videos like that every few months.
So yeah, I mean, okay, he whenever he does these crash and burns, he gets good views on that.
Because Amy Schumer, I can't think of anybody more relevant right now.
Right. Yes. And apparently he's also continued to go after Predator Badlands, from what I understand. I guess it must be on his other channel, but he's now saying that it is flopped.
You mean the movie that overperformed flopped?
Yeah, the movie that's the most successful one in the franchise flopped. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes.
Well, so let's see how long we can stand this and see how right we were about the lies.
I know a 10-minute Critical Drinker video on my own takes like an hour to get through.
This one's 7, so.
Life really does come at you fast, and never more so than when you're responsible for blowing $250 million on the most wildly and hilariously disliked Star Wars project since the holiday special. A show.
Now let's talk about the dislike of this show, which began long before it came out. It began before the show. Anybody's seen a single frame of the show? It began when it was basically announced, I think, because a certain segment of people are just going to go after Disney, Star Wars, no matter what. And then, but especially, it became clear with the trailer, first trailer, and it just within 24 hours was massively downvoted. And that's not to say that people aren't allowed to dislike things. It's the old fucking argument. I'm tired of trying to front load my points by arguing against stuff I know idiots are going to say. But yeah, it's very clear there was a coordinated campaign to downvote that. I have plenty of screenshots, and I mean a lot of screenshots of people saying, "Oh, we need to downvote it some more, guys. We need to get it down to this, whatever." And talking about the ratings on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes or whatever too. So it was clearly, obviously, a coordinated campaign. No matter who denies it, there enough of them are idiots to talk about it out loud and openly that it gives away. So.
I also want to say he is comparing it to the holiday special. And listen, there's lots of people who dislike the Acolyte, but I don't feel anybody honest can watch the Acolyte and then watch the Star Wars holiday special and think they are anywhere remotely close in quality. Star Wars holiday special is legit one of the worst things I've ever watched. It is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean,
I actually have a live stream covering it if you guys want to watch. It is terrible.
It's so lazy as well, though, to compare it to the holiday special, which aired once on American TV.
Yes.
And that was it. And then could only be got bypassed by videotapes at Comic-Cons for decades until the internet was invented. I mean, geez. Most people hadn't seen... Actually, it's probably quite an apt comparison, because most people that complained it was bad never actually saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that he's got a video making fun of his Crash and Burn franchise of so we might check that out. But yeah, it's even if you don't like anything in the show as far as the stuff that happens, the actors, the acting, the effects, or whatever, it just looks far better. You know what I mean? It's on that alone, it's at least professionally shot. So saying it's worse is just dishonest at the very least. Yeah.
Also, just to point out, I found something that was less popular than the Acolyte, which currently sits at 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb, and that is Rogue Elements by someone named Will Jordan,
Oh,
which
Rogue
only
Elements,
gets a
huh?
4. Yeah.
Who the
So
fuck? Who
Flat
the
4
fuck
on
is
that?
that hack? Oof.
Flat 4 compared to their 4.3. Hey, for the record, let's just go ahead and say it. Star Wars: The Acolyte is more well liked than Rogue Elements by Critical Drinker.
Yep.
That's a fact. You can run with that. You know, and this is as objective as any other metric on a aggregate site is. I remember we got some decent memes out of this though, because there was like the I think I still have a drop on this. Yeah.
She's a former Padawan who could put out sustained fires in the vacuum of space. Fires in the vacuum of space. Vacuum of space. Fires in the vacuum of space. Vacuum of space. In the vacuum of space. Vacuum of space. In the vacuum of space. Vacuum of space. Fires in the vacuum of space. Vacuum of space.
You know, like if they were at all honest or consistent with their quote unquote criticisms, which is why they're not critics, they're not really criticisms. They would be like, they would have complained about the sound in space too, because that just as much as a fire blazing in space, sound should not exist.
Yep.
I'm afraid I've made a mistake and I have to correct myself because yeah, Rogue Elements isn't at 4.0. It's now 3.9.
Oh shit. Damn. Went under, huh?
Man, whoever made that must feel embarrassed.
Almost half a point worse than The Acolyte.
There's an echo going on? Really?
There was an echo during that video, but it didn't.
Okay, so whenever I do the drops, there's an echo.
I mean, I will be honest. There was already an echo built in, so the double echo was kind of a trip. But I don't know, it still worked.
There's already an echo built in. How? What do you mean?
The sustained fires in the vacuum of space. It's echoed.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then it just got an echo on it.
But whenever I'm
doesn't-
showing the Critical Drinker screen, that's not echoing, right?
Nope.
Okay, good. Good deal.
That Lucasfilm were forced to take the unprecedented step of announcing its actual cancellation.
You know what? I've seen high school projects that I think would rate better just because typically a high school project, they know that they're making something silly, so they'll kind of do it with a bit of a wink. Whereas everybody's taking it very seriously in that Rogue Elements.
Well, also a high school project is usually made with a passion for the medium as well, which Rogue Elements is not.
True.
Not what, how much was the budget?
Oh, fucking 300,000, I think, something like that.
Let's just say a lot more than a high school project. I can guarantee you, I've seen movies that were made for so much less that look amazingly better.
True.
Tactic of just never talking about it again and hoping that everyone forgets about it. And for some people, that kind of god-tier failure would probably be a good opportunity for self-reflection, a chance to reconsider the creative decisions that were made, and maybe even learn a bit of humility in the process.
They decided not to. So is he both trying to, of course he's wanting to reject the credit for making the second season not happen. But the fact is the second season's not happening. Does that not rate in what you're talking about? What he's talking about here with the, you know what I'm saying? Like he's saying, oh, they're not reflecting. Yeah, they are. They clearly are. They're not doing a second season, you fucking idiot.
Also, I'm not going to well, no, I am going to compare this to Rogue Elements the whole way through, but maybe heed his own words, a bit of self-reflection on something that is worse, objectively, as far as anybody that's seen it, worse than The Acolyte. His own film, worse than The Acolyte. Bit of self-reflection. No, just blame one of the women who was in it instead.
Sure. Yeah. We got a new person here.
Oh no.
Who is this? Who is this guy? Hey, what's up, Eric?
Speak now. And
what's up? I didn't know. Like, I checked the Discord and I'm like, oh, we're live.
I think you're the new Longman, dude. I went to go watch the video and I was like, holy shit, Eric is Longman now.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. Like, honestly, I looked at the Discord and then I clicked on my channel because I had a scheduled video for like right now, and I stopped it. I was like, oh shit, no, like don't go out, because I didn't know we were live, and it was literally about this video. So I'm like, it would have been overlapping the live stream. So
you're competing with us, aren't you?
I know it'll go up later. I just delayed it. I was like, oh shit, no. So.
Well, just to bring you up to speed, The Acolyte is rated higher than Rogue Elements, which is currently at 3.9 on IMDb.
Oh,
it went down.
It went down.
Yeah.
What was it originally?
I think it got up to about 4.4.
I was about ready to say, I think it was like 4.4 with the initial release because that's when everybody who saw it was really excited for it and rated it.
Wait, who was excited for it?
That changed.
Yeah.
Well, all the people that paid their $300,000 to watch it.
I'd love to hear from somebody that you know sent money and then just like either somebody that's actually honest enough to say that I'm really kind of disappointed, or somebody that's just like trying their best to defend it. That would be fucking amazing.
Well, if you remember,
is he still crowdfunding another one?
Yeah, that's all crowdfunded. And if you remember when we looked at the figures for that, half as many people crowdfunded the most recent one, and yet it reached its higher goal, which is weird.
That is weird.
Half as many people spending twice as much money.
Well, there's been a weird kind of thing around these guys for a while where it kind of does seem like they probably have far more, or they have a handful of like big money donors, and then not a lot of other people that donate to them. I think I've seen a couple of moments on like a Friday Night Tights episode or something that just seem like they're done to encourage other people to start donating. And it seems like maybe some of their own money, that's just a guess, but like either somebody that's doing it to try to, spur everybody else on to donate or whatever. It just seems kind of shady. It's kind of weird that anybody would have that kind of disposable income to throw $100 at a pop at these motherfuckers, but maybe they do.
Yeah, well, his high tier rewards went first, and I think they were about $5,000, so they went first. So he's got some whales.
Yeah, he's got some whales.
Not so with the Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland, who recently emerged from whatever pit of obscurity she's been hiding in for the past year or so to do a puff piece interview with The Wrap, where she proceeded to duck all responsibility for the disaster and shift.
Don't you think a puff piece of an interview would not involve them asking her about the failure of the show that she was showrunner of? I don't know. Like they'd just be talking about what's she doing now, kind of thing.
But she's doing nothing. That's the thing. Also, she's not doing anything.
Literally, the headline is of the whole thing, and it's all just framed about the fucking not getting a second season.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is she's not attached to anything in Star Wars. So how would Star Wars learn a lesson from anything related to this if she's not attached to another Star Wars?
That's what we're saying. Like he said, they didn't learn their lesson. It's like, well, she's not attached to anything. They're not doing a second season of the show. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? What is it that they're not? But of course, these aren't real criticisms. We got to keep that in mind at all time.
Well, she's still working as an executive producer on a show that aired this year, and she directed on that as well. But it's not a Disney project, so they don't care.
Right.
Yeah. Got to get that Disney welfare.
I mean, that's typically them anyway. We've seen it with Gina Carano once she settled with Disney or whatever, and she has no connection to Disney anymore. They will never mention her again. She'll never get talked about again. So that's just the way they are.
They might get her to come back on Friday Night Tights sometime or some shit.
I think the problem is they can't get her to talk about the Disney stuff. She's probably got an NDA.
And
they can't ask about any of that anymore.
Yeah. That's where their cash comes from.
Latest convenient scapegoat for Hollywood's failures. Content creators.
Right.
That's right.
But isn't that what they wanted?
I thought they were trying to take down Hollywood. Isn't this victory for them?
Haven't they been claiming that they've done it as well? Haven't they been?
Let me pull. I got a clip of something here that's relevant. That's very relevant, actually. Let me go and find that. But yeah, it's
Oh, it's not us little content creators who just do our little videos for our little audiences. We did it, guys. I mean,
yeah, I
talk about having your cake and eating it.
It's really interesting to me that they have built their channels up as fighting back against wokeness, and when a victory happens and they could take, like they celebrated this when it happened. When it got canceled, they celebrated it. But now their hands are clean. They had nothing to do with it. Pack it up, guys.
Listen.
It was gonna. We spent all that time and energy focused on something that was gonna fail anyway. So, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't. The fuck?
Well, listen, they are just honest reviewers, and like all honest reviewers, they watch something that they dislike, and instead of just doing one negative review and calling it a day, they do like 50 negative videos on that thing over and over and over again. It won't
Plus
let
they start
fucking
talking about
die.
it.
Yeah.
They start talking about it months in advance before anybody's seen it, and they start talking about the trailer and how great it is that it's getting downvoted and stuff like that. That's what any honest reviewer does.
I mean, I love the Cisco Nebra episodes where they talk shit about a thing after watching the trailer. Those are great episodes. By the way, if anybody can link those to me, let me know because I can never find them.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I gotta find this. I gotta figure out which video clip this is that I.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That is
Ricky
true.
Bobby is incredibly stoic. I don't know what you're talking about. People find a clip.
Okay, I thought y'all would be talking while I'm looking for this, but
well, I thought someone had more commentary on the comment that was pulled up. I was giving people a little bit of space. So Harrison says, I honestly think Acolyte would have gotten a second season regardless of the hate campaign if it wasn't such an expensive show. I mean, the most likely reason that it didn't get another season is due to the amount of money that was spent on it. I mean, that seems like it's the most logical reason why.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hollywood or TV in particular is a victim of its own success because you can't make shows on the cheap now because HD makes everything look cheap if it is cheap. You can't do everything on a set. I mean, sitcom sets are probably the last bastion of cheap TV, realistically, because you put Star Trek, the original series, on an HD TV now, and it looks even cheaper than it did when it was on tiny CRT TVs.
Because you can see all of the imperfections on the set.
I will not hear this blasphemy. That show is flawless. That's
okay, so here we go. I found the clip. Check this out.
Kingdom had ever seen gathered at the gates of the castle, demanding the young woman's head. And the king and queen, desperate to stay on their shiny throne, finally gave them what they wanted.
His view on this situation is that he's annoyed that this occurred, and he's even more so annoyed with the outcome, calling the Disney showrunners cowards for bowing down to the cult's demands. Now's a good time to show this clip of the drinker talking about the mob mentality in a positive light when he happens to agree with their demands.
But it's like they put that in the trailer, they showed that stuff, and the reaction was apocalyptic. Like, fans absolutely lambasted the game as ridiculous, and it sold terribly as a result.
And it sold terribly as a result. So there he is, kind of saying the opposite, that they do have an effect.
Talking out of both sides of his tiny mouth.
Yes, 100%. What happened to Empty Mitch? Side note, like he
you
stopped
know,
making content.
I don't know, did he?
Well,
Because I know he made a few videos. The thing was, he was making videos in kind of like a different lane than what it seemed like he would from that first video. I had him on one time, months later. I had him on a Friday show, and we chatted for a while.
Yeah, but I think he stopped making content altogether, though. I haven't seen anything from him.
Yeah, he made some great videos, and I think maybe he just couldn't keep up the sort of release schedule that required.
I mean, he still gets the award for just like best banger right out of the gate, first video ever. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty fucking great.
Yeah. That it's a shame that thing didn't really blow up because I think he would have kept going.
2 of the Acolyte. You're welcome, world.
Yes.
But for the sake of argument, and because I could use a good laugh today, let's take a look at Leslie's totally unbiased and reasonable view on the thing. Quote.
Yeah, unlike Critical Drinker, who was totally unbiased. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would she not be unbiased? It's her show.
She never made a claim of being unbiased, so I don't know why you would say she's unbiased.
Let me make this thing, and then I'm going to show up and unbiasedly talk about it. Like, that's like... It doesn't make any sense.
It's like that. I think it was in our Critical Drinker I covered when he was talking about James Gunn and how he's always hyping up all the DC projects, and it's like, yes, that's his job, bro. He's not there to be unbiased or talk shit about DC. In fact, he's there to do the opposite.
I mean, also, this video is all biased, so I mean,
yeah.
and I'm going to do it again because I don't get tired of it, but was he unbiased when he reviewed his own film? When he did his little autopsy video?
No,
where,
he objectively and correctly labeled, said that one actress was the entire reason that it sucked.
That is true.
Yep.
It was that one actress.
Were
Even
EFAP
though she was
unbiased when they
really.
did their 17-hour review of Rogue Elements? Oh wait, they didn't cover it at all because they were being biased.
Right.
None of his friends covered it because they were being biased. So,
I'm want to point out here that two things. First of all, he's showing the first part. I want to see if he shows the part or talks about the part underneath the image in the article. But also, she makes an excellent fucking point here about Disney, and I actually said that they did figure it out at some point. I think they did figure out post Last Jedi. So in the wake of Last Jedi, they thought that all of the feedback, all of the blowback they were getting was just from fans. They did not realize that it had been co-opted to a degree by white nationalist campaign, which it had been.
All right. Before we get any further, I do have to step out. But guys, make sure to subscribe to all the channels above and fuck Critical Drinker.
also, I want to point out the section that he's highlighted. It's important to read the line underneath as well because that provides context that is kind of unbiased.
Yes. So I mean, she's literally saying, "Hey, yeah, not saying that you shouldn't be doing your grift about Star Wars or whatever." She's like, "Get your coin, 100%." But the other part, revealed to me, there's a misunderstanding between the studios and that engagement. They think of it as fandom, and in ways it is, but studios use it almost like focus groups, and that's a pretty fucking bang on point. I think that if they're not going out of their way to distinguish real criticism from this kind of shit, then they're going to get left in the dust, and it's no reason that Star Wars is failing if they're making decisions like that based on that.
But also focus groups are curated typically so that they're not coming in with any bad faith stuff going on, and that's the thing is, I mean, this big Twitter thing, which I don't know if you covered it on one of your other streams, Dane, but like finding out that a big chunk of people engaging is fake accounts, like this is why I don't think that even the people that follow these guys in general, like who's real and who's not, we don't know. We have no idea. So we
I feel like we used to all know on the internet,
and then Critical Drinker.
It's like we used to all know this on the internet, and then at some point, a lot of people forgot and just stopped thinking about it. You know what I mean? That like you don't actually know who anybody is, and to take everything at face value is pretty fucking naive.
Yeah.
Well, this is what they were warning children about during like the what was the TV show about the pedophiles, the Chris Hansen one. It was all about not trusting who people said they were on the internet. And yeah, you're right. That seems to have been forgotten about.
Well, I mean, the fucked up thing is too that like the same people that taught you to not believe everything you hear and don't just listen to strangers and don't blah blah. They're all of them. A lot of them are fucking conservative boomers now that fucking buy into Facebook memes and conspiracy theories and crap. But yeah, it is pretty telling, I think.
Studios is being snatched up by these other creators, and so commentaries, synopses, live videos, all of the ways that these creators make money through viewer-based ad revenues and their Patreons, there's a lot of money to be made. What can I say? Welcome to the internet, Leslie. Not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's this crazy place where people offer up their opinions about things, especially things they're passionate about, like, oh, I don't know, Star Wars, and other...
Except it's pretty clear that he's not offering up his actual opinions, and he's not passionate about the fucking media at all. Even if he ever was, at this point, you should not be covering it if it's about how passionate you are about it.
I feel like the closest he got to offering an opinion is when he hated the fact that there were no white men.
Yeah, that's right. If you remember, think back, man. This is the guy that fucking watched that trailer of this show. Was it this show or no? It was.
Yeah, it was. It was this show.
And he was counting how many white children there were.
Mm-hmm. White male children. Let's be clear. White males. There weren't enough white men in the show, and that was his passionate concern about this series. His passionate fandom was about how many white male kids were in the trailer. It's pathetic.
People are free to agree or disagree with those opinions. Sometimes those opinions can be positive, with shows like Andor, The Mandalorian, or even Skeleton Crew. Other times they can be negative, like with Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or The Acolyte. It just so happens that you made a show the vast majority of people didn't like, and so the vast majority of the coverage.
What's he basing that on? Is he basing it on
nothing? There's no evidence of that.
And the manipulated Rotten Tomatoes score and stuff that they participated in making that way.
This is the thing. Like these kinds of statements. Jeremy Griggs was the person who talked about this. Their viewers, the ones that watch their content, don't care about reality. You don't have to provide graphs or sources or anything to back up your claims. You just have to say it. And that's why Jeremy Griggs came out and said, like, I used to make videos where I did that. Nobody cared about it. The minute I stopped doing that, people started listening to me because their viewers don't care. The idiots that watch them don't care. The ones that, I mean, look, I'm not all of them. Some of them have broken away from it and they see the errors of their ways. But the ones that are engaged in it do not care about, like, the person that edits his videos doesn't even bother to put information on screen. Think about this. If what he was saying was true, his editor could just take a screenshot of a website to show that the information is true. It's in the script. He's reading a script. So
I mean, if you really pay attention to like, especially that Hollywood Hates Men video, his editor, whoever it was, does more to discredit him than anything we've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, it's lazy. Like his editor is lazy. And the thing is, why would you not be? Listen to what he's doing. I mean, you might as well. This is a slightly elevated, Leafy is here type shit, where it's just something playing in the background and he's talking over it. This could be anything. It doesn't even have to be the Acolyte. It could be a blank screen. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing here.
I don't think any of us said that, so it's kind of weird, specific thing to take from it. I mean, I don't think that. I don't think he's a predator only targeting white boys. I think he's a predator targeting anybody that'll buy into his bullshit. And
yeah, I think the reason he was looking for white boys was because he's a racist and a bigot.
I mean, take out the predator part. He was targeting white boys in the image. That's what he was doing. Like, I know it's a literal statement. We're not insinuating something else with that, but that's what he was doing in the image.
Oh yeah, not on that image. In general, I am personally making the statement that it does prey on people that are dumb enough to believe his content.
I really think this is something I need to.
But I don't think he's a racist when it comes to who will be his marks. I think he's perfectly happy with brown people.
Yeah, I need to be more specific though. Like, talking about literal things pisses these guys off. Pisses off EFAP. It pisses off the fans of this group or whatever. So anytime somebody does something in a video where what they're saying isn't actually what they're talking about, I'm going to point out the literalness of it because they hate that. So yes, he was targeting white boys in that image. That's literally what he was doing.
They'll get real literal and granular whenever they want to, right? Whenever it benefits them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it was negative, unlike the legacy.
Well, look, judging kids by their skin color is a step above beating them up. I'll say that. You know.
Media outlets such as the one you're talking to right now, who only get that sweet access to cast and crew interviews, advanced screenings and studio tours, provided they play ball and give the most positive reviews possible. I bet you're
bullshit,
aren't you?
Yeah, that's not even true.
If that was true, then every single film on Rotten Tomatoes would be rated 100% critic reviews. Because if all of those critics are all getting the early access legacy media type thing that he's talking about, why would anybody give it any sort of negative review? And yet films on there have negative reviews. So that doesn't really make much sense, does it? This is classic sort of cult indoctrination of we're the real truth tellers. You can't trust legacy media because they get to see a thing early, whereas I have to watch it pirated on a TV.
Well, also, he's suggesting some sort of pay-to-play scenario.
Yeah.
Right? That we shouldn't trust legacy media because it's a pay-to-play situation. But isn't he getting paid to do it? Like, his entire platform is, I'm going to say negative things because I make money from doing it. So all this is a deflection, a distraction from what he's doing. Going, look at what they're doing. They're corrupt because it's pay to play, while he's actually doing it himself.
Yeah. He's a Disney welfare recipient. I'm gonna keep
he's
going.
getting paid to make negative content.
Yes.
And the more negative it is, the more money he gets.
And it's his singular job. That's what he does for a living. That's the thing that you guys have to understand. When I get critical of them, what in the world happened to the video?
Oh man, my screen just glitched out, so that sucks. Shit.
But the reason why I'm so critical of them when it comes to the kind of content they're doing is because a lot of these guys, the bigger channels, this is their singular source of income. Like they have other ancillary things like merch shops and things like that, but the vast majority of them make their money off of content creation. So that's their main source of income. And when you're supposedly providing some sort of cultural revolution, and you're telling people this, that, and the other, and put on your tinfoil hat and things like that, and you're receiving money for it, there's no way you can't look at that and go, it's a possibility it could be corrupt. You have to understand that is a possibility, no matter what. These guys aren't above reproach. It's not like Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic. These guys are so well regarded when it comes to what they say, and they've never been wrong about anything to go, well, they must be doing it for good reasons. No, they're doing it for money. And that the thing is, he got so triggered by her saying that, even though in the very next paragraph she's like, but that's cool, right? He got so triggered by it, he stopped at the end of that to disparage the media and the outlets and all this other stuff before he ever even talked about the next line, which provided context for the thing that she said.
To be fair to him, she is a woman.
True.
So
True.
You can't trust her. Yeah. I'm gonna probably have to exit and come back. I don't know, because it's weird. As I highlight with my cursor different parts of the screen where it's gone black, it starts to come back.
Oh, okay.
So that's a new development for me with this whole thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. Look, I don't think we really need to see a whole lot more anyway, unless you guys wanted to. But
that's okay. Yeah, I've actually between my EFAP reaction and this video that I've also done a video on, I think I've seen a lot of Critical Drinker. We can still talk about him, but yeah, I don't know if I need to listen to him anymore.
It's exactly what he said. They can't help themselves but go after quote unquote legacy media, because that's all they have when they're criticizing it. It can't be that they're wrong. It must be that the people who liked it are being paid to like it. But like I said, that falls down when anybody in legacy media dislikes it. And if you actually look at the reviews that these guys don't want you looking at,
no,
then you get to see what the actual reviews are like. So you really just have to dig a little deeper.
So I'm scanning through his video real quick just to kind of see if I was right or wrong about what he shows of the quotes. I was wrong. He does show the whole thing, but I'm pretty confident.
He eventually goes back to it, but he doesn't correct his take on it.
I'm sure that what he's doing, he probably lies about what was being said there anyway, right? Like his whole thing is to twist the narrative and
but
act
he doesn't even address it. Like he says it, but then he doesn't even address it.
No, weird.
He reads the quote and then he just ignores that portion of it.
Oh no, it looks like he reads it and then he shows the Zach Galifianakis.
The what?
He went out there.
Galifianakis laughing that he shows all the time.
Oh yeah. He read that full thing and then showed that, but he doesn't address the quote itself. No.
That's it. Yeah, and I'm pretty confident that a lot of people are waking up to this stuff, but I'm gonna refresh my window, so I'll be right back.
Okay. I noticed that also he was his audio was speeding up and slowing down. I don't know how that was happening, but on my end, I was like, wait, what's going on? It sounded very like he was pitched up a little bit or something. But yeah, I have a full reaction to that entire video coming out around 7 o'clock. I rescheduled it for 7. So if you want to watch me painfully sit through the whole thing, you can watch that. Actually, yesterday, my second half of my EFAP video was supposed to go up, but there's copyright issues on it. So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong.
Is that copyright from EFAP or is it?
No, it's from some weird company that I've never heard of before. So
right.
I don't know if they're legitimate or not. So I disputed it yesterday, and I'm waiting to hear back. Because right now it's blocked. That's the problem. Is I can't even share it because it's blocked in like four major countries. So.
Oh, right. Weird. That is very weird. Because
it's not
EFAP.
EFAP. I could easily be like it's them, but it's not. It's someone else.
Because obviously they put up that big EFAP logo over the video now to make sure that they don't get copyright claimed for the visuals. Unless it's the audio, but then I would have thought most of the audio is your audio.
No, it's literally just like a random portion of the video. There's no correlation to anything. It's just like a portion claimed by a company. So I don't know what the situation is. So I basically, I wrote back and I was like, I don't know what you're claiming. This is just me, just like me talking and 5 other guys talking. So I don't know what you're claiming. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I got to push back on this. So that's kind of misunderstanding the whole thing. It's like they're as happy as they can be considering they're miserable pricks, but like they're not unhappy with the media that's coming out because they don't actually care.
No, it could be anything, and they'd be complaining.
It's performative.
Because the complaining is the job. To be clear, the complaining is their job. The bad faith bullshit criticism is what they have to do for a paycheck. And yeah, so I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with how happy they are.
That's literally why I say what I say about them. Like when your job is to sell a product, then you can't sell something else. You can't go into a Burger King and get Pizza Hut unless it's a Burger King Pizza Hut combo. But if you go into Burger King, you're not going to order Pizza Hut because that's not what they sell. So these guys can't sell other things. That's why when he mentioned Skeleton Crew, Andor, and what was the other, Mandalorian, when he mentioned those 3 things, it's like you guys were absolutely radio silent on Skeleton Crew and Andor. I can't remember how many videos they made about it, and they've actually trashed Mandalorian and Grogu. So I don't even know why he brought that up. But Skeleton Crew and Andor, maybe they made one video about it. You know what I mean? Like because of the fact that they had to at least address it. But you don't go to them to hear positive reviews. That's not why you're on their channels. So,
yeah, I'm looking at their channel this channel right now, and I'm just kind of trying to find anything that remotely resembles even neutral. And yeah, it doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah, no. Whenever they do a positive review, usually it's at least half of their normal viewing,
or it's buried on one of their side channels.
So he did Weapons. Weapons is a superb horror mystery, and that got 655,000 views.
Like half of the normal views of his video.
Compared to 2.1 million for So What Now, Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh wow! For Nobody 2, a fun but predictable sequel, 298,000 views. Yikes. And then his hour and a half long every Marvel Phase 4 movie reviewed, 312,000. And then just looking at this, you can tell how desperate he is for views right now. Like the kind of shit he's putting out is pretty obvious.
Where's the person that talks about Eric July in the chat? I don't know if they're here or not, but
I've seen him yet.
Look at his page right now. Look at Eric July's account. It is the last like 3 or 4 videos and what he's doing. It's very sad. That channel is. I need to do a wellness check. I think that one's on its way out. Look at the videos. His most recent videos, man. It's pretty.
Oh no.
Yeah, the views are. Yeah, not good. Not good. He is spiraling. He's trying everything he can. He's partnered up. If you click on his videos now, he's sharing them to another channel he just created. So he's got like a 4th channel now that's connected to this one. If you click on his most recent video, it shows the 2 shared channels. You go to that channel and look at the views. It's even worse over there. It's even worse.
Which channels? Where's that?
He's got a. Let me find it. Hold on, I'll find it. There's another channel that he has now where he is uploading new, different content, I guess, to test the waters. It's struggling to get subs. And
I'm thinking maybe sharing a screen might be what caused my shit to glitch, so I'm going to pull it off there.
Yeah, don't do that. So, it's the For Canon's Sake channel. Let me click on it here. So if you go over here, I will share it.
He has been leaning incredibly into straight up political content lately, though. I've been seeing,
but it's not working for him. He's not getting any views on it. So like, here's his For Canon's Sake channel. If you look here,
Oh no!
Look, 6 days ago, 1K views, and this one was connected to the Young Ripa account. So this is because now you can do these things where you share it. You have channels branded together.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So over here, 800 views, 1.1K views, 720 views. So like he's, it's not looking good for Eric July. His action figures aren't selling.
What, his action figures aren't selling? Oh.
No, he actually removed them from the shop storefront, so you can't see how many sold because it was such a low number.
Oh.
Josiah's channel's dead too. That's
I'm looking at it right now. He's, getting pretty inconsistent, but still getting 450,000 views on some stuff from 3 days ago.
Let me tell you where Eric July made his mistake. It's really easy, right? He started the comic book company, and instead of doing the same thing that all the other guys do, which is create a comic book and then drag it out for like 2 or 3 years, instead of doing that, he thought, I'm going to actually try and make regular comic books come out every month, right? That's what he wanted to do. He focused on that, and he left behind the commentary stuff on his YouTube channel. He goes, I'm not a YouTuber anymore. I'm going to do this other business. He made some mistakes with that business. Clearly, there's issues there. I don't know what they were.
I mean, to put it another way, I think that he forgot he was a grifter, or he tried to leverage his grift into something. Maybe even was trying to be, honest with his whole thing.
He should have just made an anti-woke comic book company because that's what people that watched him wanted, right?
Yeah, he tried to pretend it wasn't what it was.
Right. No, we're apolitical. Leave your politics at the door. We want everybody to buy our products. That's not what his fans wanted. So he lost a big chunk of people because of that, right? They left
because he wanted to pretend like he could be, a contender with like the real, real folks and stuff. But like when you put out art like this, dude, you're not gonna get anywhere as far as like competing with Marvel or DC or even Image or anything.
Yeah, somebody told me to look. They were like, check out his channel, because I hadn't looked at his channel in ages. And they're like, check out his channel, look at the video views, and I'm like, wow. So, I mean, and look, there's diminishing returns on everybody. I got a Geeks and Gamers video that I'm doing with Geeks and Gamers and a couple other channels where I'm looking at, I did the same thing that I did with Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, which, by the way, the funny thing is that video where I just looked at the math, very little comments from their fans in the comment section of that video.
Nothing to say.
Nothing to say about it. If you understand what a plateau is and what hitting the ceiling is, and you look at the numbers that I was providing, there is no argument against what I was saying. So when I come out with the next few videos and do the same thing with the other channels, I wonder if their fans are going to do the same thing. If they're going to try and push back, or they're just going to accept the fact that...
I can't wait to see, like, are you going to do like Ryan Kennel and stuff?
Well, that's one of the people with the Geeks and Gamers channel, so...
I can tell you now that Epic Verse has also died, and...
it's gone.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
All it is a commentary channel now.
That's
with
not good.
Less than 300 views to most of their videos.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. I saw the news about what Noah just said, but they're still investigating. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that it's not good, and it's not,
I need to tell you now, no one on the left that I know of wants that to happen, because that's exactly what they want people to
literally
do.
Nobody wants that to happen. I don't know anybody that would cheer this on. So if you go and see somebody fucking trying to say that they are, then they're probably almost certainly lying, or they're just, highlighting one single person on the internet where you can find somebody saying literally anything.
I would love to actually finally get some sort of like investigation or information on people that are doing this instead of them just disappearing. You know what I mean? Like the Charlie Kirk thing, dude disappeared. I haven't heard a peep or anything about that.
Well, I've heard a little bit. I heard that they lost some evidence. They don't have the video of him being taken into the jail, which a defense attorney would want. And they apparently have lost that somehow.
And clearly, the Donald Trump situation, after that person was gone, no more talking about anything.
Well, actually, I'm thinking about him too.
They what?
Because his some of his social media information. So basically, if there's a Dark Matter 2525 has a video on it from the other day, and he goes over several of the comments that were found of this dude, of the Crooks was his name, I believe. His YouTube comments. You can just go look at his comments all over YouTube. And he was very much a Donald. So the question of like, what was he, left or right, which everybody wants to figure out, especially on the right, because they're desperate to paint him as anybody is. Yeah. The point is, he was a Donald Trump fan. He was a right winger. Right. Of course, it's easy for chuds to spin it as like, oh, must have been converted to the left. He was, a leftist extremist. No, he wasn't. because if you go look at his comments, as Dark Matter 2525 points out in his video, a lot of it was over the last several years, I think going back to like 2018, was like interest in a civil war and wanting to, you know, how do we start a civil war and terrorist tactics and stuff like that. And it honestly just seems like that dude's interest in starting a civil war was far more than his love for Donald Trump. And he actually saw killing Donald Trump as an opportunity to start a civil war. And then if you look at some of the reactions, if you remember back whenever that happened, a lot of people were calling for it right after it happened on the right. So, and it's a really good video, by the way, just in general about the violence of MAGA and how, they paint everyone else to the left as being violent. But
kind of what I was getting at was that stuff doesn't come up because they can no longer lie about the people. You know what I mean? Like they can't continue to spread those lies. So I am curious if we're going to get any information about this, like anything more. Because again, I want to reiterate, I don't know anyone personally who has ever advocated for any of that stuff. I wouldn't advocate for it. I don't know anybody who advocates for it.
Either. I wouldn't want to be friendly with anybody that's just cheering on deaths of anyone.
And there is one political party that really does fight for the right for people to use guns in any and every situation. So I mean, like I don't think there's a big chunk of people on the left who are like completely against like gun rights, like in terms of like people being able to open carry and all that. So I just find it very odd that the party that is like so pro, and I am not anti 2A, right? Like I'm not an anti 2A person, but I know a lot of people that are. I know a lot of people who don't think that we should even have 2A. But for me, it's like there's one group that really does champion that, and they want to act like the other group is the more violent one. It just I don't. Correlation is so fucking stupid.
Holy shit. This is fucking funny, Philip. That is pretty funny. Why is Joe Rogan fighting the Tasmanian devil? The image there.
But anyway, so it looks like Kash Patel did a couple statements about it, saying he was going to look into it and do an investigation. I would love a real investigation. Like, can you actually figure out what happened and stop using this for political reasons, which is what everybody's doing now?
The chance of getting any sense out of Keystone Cash is pretty limited, considering how much of a mess he's made of every single part of his job.
We're in a situation now where everybody, like, I get on social media and I'm like trying to find stuff about this, and it's just this person is responsible, that politician is responsible. Man, it's fucking stupid. It's really, really fucking stupid. That's all it is. Of course, somehow they're tying this to the statements made about the unlawful orders, which I don't know what the two things could possibly have any connection together on.
What's that?
They're trying to say that this random citizen, I'm assuming, because that's all the information we have,
they shot
the National Guards people, right, because of the video made by our politicians that told the military to not listen to unlawful orders. Somehow they're trying to connect those things together, and I'm like,
they said don't listen to unlawful orders.
Right.
Yeah,
they're trying to connect
don't
them
basically you are not obliged to follow any order.
And I'm like, how are those two things? How are they connected together?
They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. This is what we're going to be dealing with for the foreseeable future, and honestly, probably until they get it to work right, which is any violence that happens to connected to any kind of political anything. They're going to try to manipulate that into be their look, this is our reason, our impetus for sending troops to whatever. That's why they got so mad about these politicians saying that, because hey, you're like blowing up our spot. We're going to try and send these people into voting locations and stuff like that for the midterms. You can't be telling them that they don't have to, and actually that they swore an oath not to follow unlawful orders. You can't tell them that. Yeah, that's why they're pissed about it. And it's
the timing of this is very strange to me. Timing of this is very strange. I'm not saying anything. I'm going to wait till we see more, but
yeah,
timing is very, very, very
right after that whole incident. Sure.
Yeah. All of a sudden we got the Democrats are so, like, it's really funny to me that anytime they say that, like a few days later, something really violent happens, and then nothing violent happens for like 2 months. And then it's like, oh, that's really interesting.
Well,
it feels like as well that the puppet masters, the people pulling the strings, are kind of losing Trump. It feels like he's sort of, well, he's clearly in cognitive decline. He seems to be losing interest in being the president, which is kind of what happened during his first term. That Mamdani meeting, sort of, where that was weird. It feels like maybe Stephen Miller's losing his grip on Trump. So,
yeah, I mean, it's clear that he's in cognitive decline. I mean, it's not even a question anymore, honestly.
plus the imminent release of the Epstein.
I can't hear.
Oh, that's really about what the hell.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's just a bunch of different influencers saying that MAGA's dead, and they're done with MAGA.
Yeah. This particular situation that we're dealing with right now isn't going to bring MAGA back together. I mean, it's too fractured.
Yeah, with the Epstein files coming out soon as well, I think Trump sees.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned this.
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say yes. Okay. That's easier.
He straight up says, "Yeah."
He laughs about it too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
No, I think the Epstein files, they're going to do something really sketchy with it, where they're going to open investigations into things related to the files, so that certain parts of the files can't be released. That's why I think they strategically picked the politicians they picked, because I think they already know the way they're going to like cover up the Trump stuff is by connecting dots to Trump, and that is going to be connected to these politicians, that's connected to this investigation, and then they don't have to put him out, and then he can get through his whole term without the Epstein files coming out. I think that's what they're hoping for.
I think they'll definitely try that, but then that's only got a limited lifespan anyway, because
It's
those
true.
investigations, as soon as they end,
Yeah.
those files can be released. And the utter disaster that the lawsuits against Comey and was it Letitia James, the way they fell apart because his lawyer was utterly useless.
And they're going to try and take them to court for something else now, apparently in another place, and it's just so stupid.
Pretty sad.
So yeah, it's all crumbling, and I think the people, the really truly evil people behind the scenes, are going to try and accelerate now.
Well, the funny thing is that when it comes to this National Guard situation, separate from the incident that happened today, it looks like that the Supreme Court is about ready to take that power away from Trump. I think the tariffs are going to be taken away from him. I think the National Guard stuff is going to be taken away. And he's going to either ignore it and see what happens. Look, after the midterms, if they lose anything, if they lose even just the House, Trump's going to have trouble doing anything at that point. If they lose the House and the Senate, which seems like it's in play now, that's the end of Trump's presidency at that point. And I don't mean like he'll get kicked out of the White House. I mean, he won't be able to, like, he will lose the power to do anything.
Well, I mean, it honestly seems like, it honestly seems like he's already kind of a lame duck, which is pretty crazy considering he's only not even a year into his, first or second term. Like, I mean, the fact that so many of people in the House were willing to sign on to it, and that's when he finally was like, okay, fine, we'll release the files. So in order to save face, and because he'd already had Bondi agree to do the investigation, which means that he doesn't have to put him out. Basically, yeah, that was a pretty big show of rebellion when you think about it, as far as MAGA. They previously were in lockstep with whatever his agenda was.
Well, they just, the Republican, the House and the Senate pushed back against him extending the ACA. He was willing to give in on that. That's a big deal. Trump was willing to give in to the demands for the ACA to be extended because he knew that, like, this is a political problem for some Republicans, not all of them. So there's some Republicans that are, their constituents are all people that will not be affected by the changes to the ACA. But a lot of them will. And that's the ones that are worried. Those are the ones that are like, we need to do something about it. This is why Marjorie Taylor Greene was so, passionate about.
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's crazy how that went down.
Yeah.
And I've seen, somebody saying at least she's not running for president. I've actually seen that is part of what she's looking into.
Yeah.
That and that or some kind of senator or whatever. But also on the other side of the coin, I saw that AOC is also looking into, either president or senator.
Yeah.
So
because people have to remember, Senate is a 6-year appointment, and the House is a much shorter. I think it's 2. No, is it 4 years? 2 years? Can't remember. It's shorter. Senate is 6. I know that. So when you get to the Senate, that is the check. That is the major check and balance on the president. Like that's the one. They're the ones that technically control the purse. They're supposed to. They're the ones that vote on things like changing Department of Defense to Department of War, which they never officially did, which means that anybody operating under that is actually operating under a unlawful department because that's not the name of the department. like legally, the Senate has to approve a name change, and they never did it.
Calling it that is, that's Pete Hegseth. That's his gender affirming care.
Well, the other thing is, that's true. That's true. The other thing is that the reason why so many Republicans are going against Trump right now, the major reason why, is they've not been able to get anything passed. Think about this. Everything has been executive orders. And Marjorie Taylor Greene brought up something that I didn't even think about because I just hadn't really processed it. But the Republican-controlled House and Senate haven't passed much of anything. They had the one bill they were trying to get through that was Trump's bill, but all the other things, and she mentioned that there's lots of other Republicans who have brought things to the speaker, and he refuses to hear them, refuses to do anything. They've done nothing. They just get on social media and Fox News and hype Trump up. That's it. That's all they do. And, you know, they're getting ready to go into campaign mode. Once we get beyond Christmas into the new year, they have to campaign for their seats. This is a major, major election coming up next year. They're going to be spending the majority of the year doing that. And she said on several interviews that they're not going to have time to sit around and look at legislation and do legislative stuff because they're all trying to get reelected. So that's why everything had to be done this year. And they've done nothing. They had control of the House and Senate and done nothing.
And they'll be fighting for re-election and what they're going to be saying to their constituents. So well, we've done nothing so far.
Exactly. That was her point. She's like, we haven't done anything. People are going to lose health care. Food costs are high. Energy bills are high. What other stuff? We're dealing with the tariffs and stuff like people are hurting right now. Groceries are high. Like it's just everything is up there. They've done nothing to help the people, any of their constituents, and they have to campaign on that. And you know what they're campaigning against? Hiding the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Shutting down the government. Like this is what's going to be used against them in the midterms, and they have no art. Like they can't go on and keep saying Biden, Biden, Biden. Like fuck, it's over a year now. You want to be over a year in January, but you know Biden, 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 Democrats, Democrats, Democrats. You've had 2 years at that point in the House and the Senate with the presidency, and what did you get done? Nothing. A bill that doesn't help any middle class people or any of the poor people in this country. It is going to be a figuratively speaking, a bloodbath in the midterms, because I need to make sure I say that so people don't think that I'm being violent. But it's going to be a wash, like what we saw, 2-3 weeks ago in the special elections. The midterms are going to be crazy.
And really, the grocery prices thing is the big lie that Trump finally couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Because all of his other lies, people couldn't necessarily always see for themselves what the truth was. But if you're going on TV and you're telling every American grocery prices are not high, and every week they're the ones buying their groceries and noticing that the prices are high, you can't lie about that. Unless you don't pay for your own groceries or don't care, if you're in that privileged position where you don't have to worry about the price, those are the only people that are believing that lie. But if you pay for your groceries, which is, I would imagine, the majority rather than the minority, you're not going to believe that lie when he says they're lower.
Well, all their lies. So what's happening is all of the lies that they had in place expecting to finish Project 2025 are catching up to them. All of them. Like everything they've said with the assumption that they would be able to enact Project 2025 by the end of the year, which again, still not even at 50%. They've pretty much they've been locked down on that. That government shutdown fucked them. It fucked them big time.
God. I thought you were joking. I thought this comment was joking, but they're not.
What,
Rush Hour 4 is in the works after Trump pushed for it.
Yes, because of the Ellisons.
Of course. Yeah.
And the director will be Brett Ratner again. Let's not forget why he moved away from directing films because of several sexual assault allegations.
Yes.
That were too old to go to court.
I need you guys to understand that that movie will be a flop.
It will be a
100%.
flop,
It will be a flop.
well, I mean, we can go ahead and say it here now. The Chuds are going to cape for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, last time I checked, let me double check. Someone said that it's not even owned by Paramount. Hold on.
No, apparently it's owned by Warner Brothers. So unless they buy Warner Brothers or buy it off Warner Brothers, I mean, I don't know who owns the rights to the concept. But they might have to retail it.
Oh, okay. So Paramount is just doing the distribution. It's a Warner Brothers movie.
Right.
That's what they're saying, is that they worked out a distribution deal or whatever. These like nostalgic old man movies never do really well. There's only one exception to that, and that's Top Gun Maverick. All the other ones have been either mildly okay to financially bad. So,
and it's not as if Rush Hour was like a huge money spinner. Of
I mean, the first one was
anyway.
the only one I really liked. So, I mean,
And I just want to make sure everybody understands what this is. This is North Korea level shit.
It is. I posted it on my community tab, and people push back against it. They're like, "How is this?" I'm like, "The president, the dear leader, wants a movie made for him, and the companies out there that are close with them make the thing. That's literally what it is."
Yep. I mean, essentially, you can look at this as essentially. Larry Ellison is his friend. He's not just a supporter. Apparently, they're friends. So, like, this is you can basically look at this as Trump having his own movie studio.
Larry Ellison held fundraisers for Trump. He's been a mega donor for MAGA and Trump. So, I mean, to act as if, look, his son, the only reason the merger even happened is because the FCC overlooked a lot of the regulatory stuff they normally do for large mergers. That's how Skydance and Oracle ended up getting Paramount. So, yeah, I mean, it's corrupt. It's corruption.
So, based on what the list here, this article I'm looking at, that's kind of got the talking about this as a cultural issue. Some of his favorite movies are like Bloodsport. So maybe we'll see a return to Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Who knows? Right. See if you can do those
based on the entirely true story of Frank Dux.
Yep, Frank Dux, the guy that definitely never told a lie in his life.
Also, the guys, Marjorie, look, I've seen enough content about this to feel confident that this is true. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Massey and several other people have spoken out about the fact that there are other Republicans that are going to leave their seats early, which I believe, depending on what state you're from, they would do some sort of like a early election or something along those lines, or someone else would fill that void for the time being. But that's bad, because that means they won't have votes next year at all. There'll be empty seats waiting for people to fill them that will not vote. So if they did want to pass anything after the new year, they're going to be losing people. If they lose like 4 or 5 people, that's it. They lose their majority. They won't be able to like strong arm anything.
Oh wow! So Brett Ratner made a documentary about Melania. That's what he's been up to.
Interesting.
I guess he didn't sexually harass her or assault her while they were doing that. That's good. Good for him.
So in the 14th Congressional District, where Marjorie Taylor Greene is from, when her retirement happens on January 5th, 10 days later, they will hold a special election. Well, they will start the process of holding a special election. The special election must be scheduled within 30 days after it is issued. So 40 days after she retires, someone else has to be elected into her seat.
Yeah.
Which means they're going to need to go through their own Republican and, presumably the Democrats will have an idea of a candidate, but they'll still need to do primaries.
I wonder if they'll just run the candidate that ran against her originally.
I don't know, possibly. Yeah, it's hard to know.
I think low key, I think she wants the House to be taken by the Democrats before the midterms.
Yeah.
I think that's what she wants.
I mean, it's you know, I'm hesitant to give anybody like full credit for like turning their shit around, but like she honestly has. When you think about how she behaved herself for the first several years, and then versus when she's basically got involved with the Epstein situation, she's really changed her tune and how she operates.
You know, the only thing I will give her credit for is being consistent on what she said. Like, even though I disagreed with her, she did not change any of her stances to appease anyone around her, and that you can't say that for some of these other people. There are other people in the Republican Party that have changed their stances. She never changed her stances. She was very firm in everything that she believed in. And yeah, she's done a lot of shitty stuff, so I'm not giving her any credit for any of that. You know what I mean? I still do not trust her.
I would not say
ever vote for someone like her, but her resigning and having them hold a special election tells me that she would rather potentially give her seat up to a Democrat than to continue to vote with the Republicans, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't think she changed her tune. I think Trump did. I think she truly believed that he was going to come in and make everything America first, release the Epstein files, do all the awful racist shit that she wanted done, as well as all the awful financial stuff, and he didn't do it. And so that's why she is principled. I mean, her principles are awful, but she she is at least sticking to her principles in that respect.
Yep. What else we got? So did you guys hear about Riley Gaines?
I mean, I see her talking all the time, so it depends
on what did she come fifth in now?
Yeah.
You might be. Well, it's my pleasure to tell you that she comes first. No, she's not first in this either. But like, yeah, so this will tell you why she's talking everywhere all the time.
Ray is like a journalist in the sports world largely, who has been doing some really phenomenal work on his show and through his reporting. Pablo Torre finds out about the NBA and gambling in particular. That's mostly what I have been following. But I guess his show is also covering things like, you know, our favorite tied for fifth place influencer, Riley Gaines, and where she's getting her money from. The fact that she's even in the news at all still is shocking to me, but you kind of see why, given what he uncovers here, because it's all AstroTurfed.
Yeah.
It's all AstroTurfed. Yeah. I mean, while, you know, not to say woe is us in any way.
Go ahead and skip to the part where it shows the, yeah, here we go.
Expose, I guess, about Riley Gaines and where she's actually getting her money from.
So Riley Gaines, like me, is in fact a podcaster, but she is also not just that. She is working for Fox News as a frequent contributor.
Riley Gaines joins us now.
Riley Gaines joins us right now with reaction.
Riley Gaines, she's America's #1 feminist as far as I'm concerned.
An ambassador at the Independent Women's Forum. Riley Gaines. Riley, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Riley Gaines is with us.
Riley, how are you?
She's a political figure. She's a speaker on college campuses at Turning Point USA, formerly hired as a contributor. This ever-expanding resume, how enriching is it?
I hear that on this podcast you like tax forms. On page 45 of a filing from Harris County Republicans in Texas, this past June, $25,000.
But that's not all, by the way. Because Riley Gaines also got a job as a spokesperson at the Independent Women's Forum in 2022, which helped her get directly involved in politics. Riley Gaines has now testified or appeared with politicians in at least 21 states by our count so far.
I feel frustrated. I feel betrayed. I feel heartbroken. I feel demoralized that we have to be here.
And on top of that, there was the grand opening in 2023 now of the Riley Gaines Center, a center which was founded at something called the Leadership Institute, which turns out to be a conservative nonprofit that has been recruiting and training right-wing activists for like 50 years. The mission of the Riley Gaines Center was very specific. It was to recruit other student athletes who had been, quote, harmed by zealots of transgender ideology.
So, you know, and then this is not like this is a rare thing. This happens on the right quite a bit. And then you consider this, and you consider all the accounts that were just exposed on Twitter for not being who they pretended to be. You know, it just becomes clear that if you're on the right and you're believing the garbage you're being fed, then you're kind of just you're a mark, and you're kind of asking for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did see that video, and to be honest, I wasn't at all surprised. Like, I think all of these people are funded some way by dark money, or not even that dark money anymore. I mean, this is why you see the same faces. They get a little bit of popularity. The popularity spurns people to fund them, and then as long as they're still popular, they keep getting paid. So yeah,
it's why you see with almost without fail, like every single one of these activists, these talking heads on the right, are failed in whatever endeavor they were part of. You know, she's a very obvious and egregious example of it, being 5th place in tie. You know, and it's like there's no reason why she should be going around talking. Like, there's no reason she should be.
She tied with a trans person, but lost to 4 other cisgender women. It's like,
right. This part kind of implied with it that apparently are people that like her just don't think about. It doesn't make any sense. You think about Kevin Sorbo, Dean Cain, you know, John Voight just put out. Did you see that video he put out?
How recent? I did see one from like a while
week or two ago. I've got it here.
Oh, I didn't see that one. No.
It's pretty funny. Pretty sad, actually.
Well, the anti guys in the chat, the anti-trans stuff isn't moving the needle anymore. That's why none of the, like the governor that was running against our Democratic governor that was elected this past month was Winsome Earl Sears or whatever her name was. She was running on a primarily anti-trans ad campaign, and it was everywhere. And she lost so badly. And we're seeing it all over the country. It's a wedge issue that people are tired of hearing about.
Not only that, but Trump has said he's fixed it. So why would people be
who's
bothered
the
by it?
person arguing with? Like, we haven't even talked about EFAP really today. And like, we definitely, I don't think. I mean, what point do you think you're making here?
Right. So the man that has beat up people for 5 years, 1 year they didn't beat up a person, so they're good, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
The mayor that has taken over New York City is a Muslim that's going to take down the city that never sleeps, the city of life's dreams, this city that our ancestors brought forth in prosperity and greatness and liberty. This city will turn into a forbidden place of darkness. The blood, sweat, and tears that the city of New York was built on will turn into a virtual refugee shelter for the radical Muslim ideology.
Oh my God! Like,
and what happens in 4 years when that doesn't happen?
Oh, he won't be alive anymore.
Did he make an Oscar-winning film about how much of a shithole New York was in the 70s?
Yeah. Also, Trump likes Mamdani. Like, he's
somebody needs to get him there. Yeah.
So he really, I mean, he really wants to give him a hand job. Maybe.
Like he's the new Bubba. You know, I actually didn't use it. I made 2 different thumbnails today. Here's the second one that I didn't end up using. Yeah. Here we go.
Oh yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he looked at him, and he's like, yeah, you can call me a fascist, Daddy. Call me a fascist. That's
you can call me whatever you want to.
Yeah. Just pull my diaper over to the side.
Oh, Bob was unhappy, you know. I mean, but what's funny is these 2 images of Mamdani and Trump are actually from that meeting. So this is them literally in the moment of you know, he's smiling at Mamdani right there.
Yeah, it's funny.
Exactly. Yes.
Silhouetted Animator, good to see you. $2 super chat here. GOP runs on fear, buzzwords, and power, easy paycheck. They do. But here's the thing, this is going to date me. I'll gladly take a cheeseburger today and I'll pay you next Tuesday. Like that's kind of what it is with them. It's moving one thing from one hand to the next. They're running out of hands. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They don't have another hand. This Project 2025 thing, they were all in on Project 2025. It's not working. It's not going to happen. They're going to lose control of parts of the government that they need for Project 2025. They're going to get in trouble for blowing up these boats without any due process at all when this investigation happens. They're going to get in trouble for deporting people. All of these people that are running game for Trump right now, unless he pardons them preemptively, they're going to end up getting taken to trial on this. So all of this stuff, like shifting things around, which cup is the ball under kind of thing, it's coming to an end for them. In this past special election, I know they don't want to see it that way. We talked about this. The past special election that we just had for governors of states and different positions in states and cities shows that in the rural areas, in the places where these voters typically would vote for Republicans, they're not doing it anymore. So they're running out of hands to pass the ball to. They're running out of cups to put the ball under. It's happening already. We're seeing it already. This is why Trump's approval rating has taken a nosedive with everyone, including the Republican Party.
Yep. I mean, he's the most unpopular president since they've been polling on that.
He's also the oldest.
Oof.
Yeah, he will be older than Biden was at the end of this term. Like he will leave office the oldest president we've ever had.
Got another short here that's thought was pretty good point.
Don't like about internet conspiracy theories is you guys are really out here like, I think these billionaires might be up to something. I think they might be doing dark, depraved, demonic rituals in secret. Oh yeah, you think the people that are openly profiting from child slavery all day, every day might secretly be up to no good? The people that start proxy wars to control labor and resources, literally causing the death and suffering of millions and millions of people? Interesting observation. Tell me, what was your first clue that they might not be entirely on the level? The ones who assassinate whistleblowers, the ones who knowingly poison the food and water supply, then cover it up for as long as they can, and then when they do get caught, they get away with like a slap on the wrist and a small fine because they've also bought the system that's supposed to be holding them accountable. Meanwhile, you're out here like, their business's logo has a triangle in it. I doubt that's a coincidence. Why are you scouring internet rabbit holes for evidence that these people are also like dressing up in colorful robes and dripping candle wax on each other's nipples in the name of some demon or whatever? Why does that make it worse? I mean, I'm not saying they're not doing those things, and sure, maybe the Epstein files thing might crack the top 50 horrific things these people are objectively up to on a regular basis. You don't need evidence of a secret society to know that these people are monsters. Society is the evidence that these people are monsters.
Yeah.
So from what I remember, he was in the flight logs. But I can't help but wonder if that somehow has anything to do with this now. You know what I mean?
I mean, everything is a distraction from the Epstein files at this point. I just assume everything that's being done is a distraction.
Well, then maybe putting Chris Tucker's name back out in the news is not a good way to go for Trump. That might backfire for him.
I have reached a point where there's no more conflict in my mind that Trump and people surrounding him, maybe even some Democrats, maybe some people that I liked in the past, are in those files, and it would be a incredible revelation to civilization to reveal who these people are.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for it. Like honestly, I'm ready. I want to see it. I want to know who these people are.
I mean, I think that you're absolutely right, and I think the left or Democrat voters or whatever are far more prepared for this to contain people that we at one point maybe respected or liked or whatever than the right is realizing. The people that are in denial about Trump and whatnot, because once again, I said this the other day, I've said it several times lately, but like, we actually do have principles, and we want, even if it's somebody that we like, to go to prison for crimes, especially crimes against children. It's not any fucking, there's no hesitancy in my mind. I don't care if it's Bill Clinton, who I literally wrote a report on in 4th grade when he was running for the first time, and said that I think he would make a good president. So yeah, him too, man.
What I find weird is of all the films of the sort of last 100 years that I thought would be closest to the truth, I never pegged Society as being the one.
Oh God.
Seems like that's closest so far.
Oh no!
We
Yeah.
all thought it was going to be They Live, but no, it's Society.
Well, apparently there's been. Actually, I have a video about this that we can check out real quick, and then I'll probably have to go. But
Okay.
this is by a YouTuber named Damon Walter, science fiction. He talks about sci-fi and movies and stuff a lot. But this is about a theory regarding the Epstein files, and then the film Eyes Wide Shut. Which, yeah, it's pretty interesting. The theory is pretty stupid, and he makes a good point of that. So I can find it here. Yeah. What else? What do you got going on this week, Ryan and Eric? Anything?
I should finally get back to putting out a video this Saturday, so that will be nice to get back into some level of normality. That's about it for me.
I will watch this first. Go ahead.
What's up?
We can go ahead. Watch this first. I'll talk afterwards.
You know, nobody understands Eyes Wide Shut. Nobody. Every time it gets mentioned, people look at you like they're remembering the trauma of their one attempt to read Das Kapital. Because Eyes Wide Shut is one of those films that, despite or even because of being very obviously about something, has become a kind of cultural Rorschach test for people who don't want to see uncomfortable truths. So Eyes Wide Shut has generated a proliferation of bullshit interpretations. Ah, yes. Tom Cruise represents the Jungian animus confronting the shadow anima. Actually, Nicole Kidman is the feminine other confronting the social patriarchy, or whatever conspiracy theories Reddit users dream up from the comfort of their gamer chairs. And of course now, we have the Epstein theory.
The movie was recut and changed after his death.
Reignited recently by Roger Avery of Pulp Fiction fame, claiming he half remembers overhearing a conversation somewhere once about a
Roger Avery of Pulp Fiction fame. I think he's probably, not the more famous name involved with that movie. In fact, most people forget that he co-wrote that film.
No, but I think it's the only thing he's remembered for at all, if he's remembered.
True.
rumor that the studio recut Eyes Wide Shut and killed Kubrick when he protested, which must be true if it's on Joe Rogan. The idea is that the reclusive Kubrick, who by the 1990s was hiding in an English mansion like a sort of anxious bearded tortoise, somehow knew who the feck Jeffrey Epstein was. Yes, old Stan was apparently spending his days inventing new camera lenses and his nights going, I must warn humanity about the finance bloke who sources blowjobs for Bill Clinton. But like every good conspiracy theory, this one is formed around a gritty bit of truth. Kubrick's movies are symbolic. They are coded. But they're also brutally direct statements that we refuse to acknowledge because they make us feel like the stupid complicit mammals we are. 2001? Oh, is the monolith aliens or God or the collective unconscious? Is it about a giant smartphone sucking us into the next dimension? No, although that is a fun theory. Kubrick's Space Odyssey is much more direct. You dumb apes and your stupid rockets aren't going anywhere until you evolve. Clockwork Orange. Is it the bleak, violent, dystopian future we're all heading towards? No, it's just Tuesday in Britain. And
yeah. Anyway, don't need to watch the whole thing. I don't like to show somebody's whole video anyway. But there's the point that basically people love to apply something like what's in the news right now to this kind of thing and then tie this. It's silly. Of course, having somebody like Avery mentioned on Joe Rogan doesn't fucking help anything. Of course, having Joe Rogan having a podcast doesn't help anything. But Anyway,
And I mean, we don't even have to look for secret symbols. Like I mentioned, I mentioned in jest society, but that film is literally about how the upper classes exploit the working class for food.
Yeah.
I mean, in the literal sense, but subtextually, it couldn't be clearer. So it doesn't matter what the hidden meanings of Eyes Wide Shut might be. The people were making these connections long before Eyes Wide Shut came out.
Mhm.
I just thought it was a bit boring, to be honest.
It was pretty. It's honestly kind of disappointing for his last film.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Plus, it didn't really help that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman had absolutely no chemistry.
Right. I'm sure it didn't help their marriage either.
Well, no. In the
Yeah,
end.
I mean, who was it? Somebody said you didn't know they were in that movie. Yeah, I mean, that was basically that was the selling point. That was essentially how Kubrick got it financed and made to the degree that he did, and why everybody knows what it is, even though it ended up not being very good.
You loved them in Days of Thunder and Far and Away. See them again.
Yeah, those movies with lots of action in them. Don't expect that in this. Anyway, that's about all I got.
Yeah, I was gonna say I will be live tomorrow night with my Nerdcast after everybody does Thanksgiving, so people are still awake. I'll be alive late tomorrow. I have a video coming out in a little over an hour. If you're a channel member, you can see it now. It is a full breakdown of the Critical Drinkers Star Wars Acolyte video.
Sweet.
The second part of my EFAP will be up as soon as possible. Like I said, I have a weird claim on it that I need to dispute, so I'm waiting to hear
You're the
back
new
on
long
that.
man.
Yeah, it's the second one is longer than the first one. So
Oh, long man, bad.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah. And then I've got to cover It's a Gundam. I got to cover that channel.
Oh boy.
And then I'm going to do the breakdown of Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Cannell, a few other people. That's my week. So
You're putting in the good work, for the Lord and whatnot.
yeah, I try.
Appreciate it.
I try. Also, I'm doing a video on Simu Liu. He did an interview where he talked about Shang-Chi 2. That'll be on my Reloaded channel either tonight or tomorrow morning. So
Cool. All right. I've got, nothing going on except doing some Thanksgiving stuff tomorrow, and then I don't know, maybe if there's nothing else going on. No, I don't want to say anything like that. I'm going to spend the day with family. But I probably might stream like Friday. I'm definitely going to stream Friday night, I think. So, like usual.
Okay.
And with that in mind, I do have a one video to check out on the way out the door. This is another one by the guy Matthew Cook, who makes some excellent shorter videos, but makes a lot of great points in them. I recommend sticking around and watching it, but the stream will be over once that is done. Please like and subscribe whichever channel you are on, and then the other channels are linked in the description. Several other channels, just check them out. And if you celebrate this turkey thing, I hope it's a good one. If not, I hope it's a good day anyway. If you are someone who isn't able to be with your family for whatever reason, then just know that that's okay, and love yourself a lot, vigorously. Ryan, Eric, have a good one.
Seeing the propaganda from the zombie bot farms that turned out to be from America.
No more free America. No food stamps for lazy people. No illegal should get my tax money. My tax dollars are not your bank account. Get a job. What's your fair share of my heart?
How you got that way?
Ooh, story time!
Yeah, probably won't help him, might help us. About 85 years ago, humanity started building our first majority middle-class societies. Yeah, the first ones in human history. How? High taxes on the ultra-rich, breaking up monopolies, millions of public sector jobs, public housing, social security, regulations. We called it the New Deal, and the wealth hoarders were furious. Our next step was an economic bill of rights, which was going to mean the ultra-rich would not own every bank and factory and politician anymore, and so they launched a giant propaganda war against anything that helped normal people. By the 1950s, President Truman just said what everybody was thinking. Socialism is a scare word that they hurl at every public benefit. Public power, Social Security, bank insurance, unions, the weekend, anything that helps all the people. But we kept growing the middle class anyway and investing in ourselves. Right up until about 1971, enter this guy, Lewis F. Powell Jr., big tobacco lawyer, Philip Morris board member, spent years claiming that cigarettes don't cause cancer and complaining that socialist-infested media was not giving enough airtime to tobacco's lies. And he was the perfect guy for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to hire for writing a blueprint on how to roll back that New Deal and make America great again for the ultra-rich. So Powell wrote a memo explaining how American capitalism was under attack from universities, media, activists, regulations, consumer protections, labor, and he gave corporate America his plan on how to fight back by building think tanks and taking over universities and funding pro-wealth hoarding economists, creating media networks, flooding politics with lobbyists, and reshaping the courts. Most important was to reframe the whole idea of public spending, taxes, public power, labor protections as a tax on individual freedom and personal earnings. Conflate the identity of the ultra-rich with the general population. It's your hard-earned income they're talking about taking. What? I'm fine. I'm just worried about you. Getting your hard-earned money taken away by big government and welfare queens and collectivists.
Who about to did what now?
And that memo became the foundational misdirection campaign of right-wing corporatists for the next 50 years.
What about what?
It became the blueprint for the Heritage Foundation, the Cato Institute, ALEC, the Federalist Society, the Koch Network, and eventually the whole Fox News universe and its little troll offspring.
The Daily Bright News, Max, Bart, Caller?
Yep. And now, thanks to true believers like you, about $80 trillion have shifted upwards from the bottom 90% to that top 1%. Ooh. And the middle class has been shrinking ever since, to such an extent that we're not even a majority middle class society anymore.
Where'd it go?
Stock buybacks, transferring trillions from wages into executive pockets, monopolies, creating false scarcity, inflating prices beyond costs, destroying small businesses, buying politicians to prevent any regulations.
But regulation bad?
To siphon income upwards, creating a tiny little billionaire overlord class. All of this a long-standing practice which inspired the quote, "Behind every great fortune, there is a crime."
So what happened to me?
So your fair share was stolen by the ultra-rich, and you were trained by their lawyer to blame your neighbor.
Hate thy neighbor as thyself.
Nope, that's...
Hold the phone! Is that not what Jesus said?
I messed up. I'm glad you like the story. Now take your foot out of your mouth. I put the full story on the...
Woo! Bad faith criticism.
Are you a talentless YouTuber pretending to be an expert?
Do you have a tantrum when you're criticized for being totally full of shit?
Then the excuse you need is bad faith criticism.